So finally, in this last part, we are let's say dealing with some of the conditions of success in international human resources management. Let's start first from understanding what is a condition for success in expatriation, which is, as we have seen before, a very important thing. There are 5 conditions that need to be met from the non-cultural point of view in order to make it work. The first one is that they need to be free to decide whether or not accept it. So there's no thing as being obliged to take it or leave it kind of proposal. People need to feel that there's authenticity, that the company is really saying, okay, that's a good option, we think, for you, but feel free to choose on the basis of your needs. Second, they need to have a realistic understanding of the new job and assignment. Shouldn't be, over-promising. You need to be very careful in describing what's in the job so that people don't get disillusioned as soon as they reach the place. So many times there's the risk of, embellishing the position to make sure that people say yes, well then they find something different. That's a critical error. Never do that. There's also the need to have a realistic expectation of what's going to happen when the expatriation finishes. So where am I going to eventually land at the end of all of this? So, they don't want to feel that they are just left over there in an island somewhere and, everybody forgot about them. So there needs to be kind of a plan for what's going to happen. They will need mentors, for thing, in the parent firm who are going to keep them in contact with what's going on at home and make sure that they don't get lost in their options for career. And finally, the assignment needs to speak to the actual needs in terms of growth and development of the individual. Following these 5 let's say indication is not very simple in today's company, but I think it's a necessity, obviously. So finally, let me share a few possible strategies for managing a global workforce. The first one is this called a spatial career strategy, which means get people from everywhere. Expats work in multiple countries, they gain a lot of knowledge, in-depth knowledge is developed, they use previous knowledge for new assignments, so they move around. It's very expensive and it's mainly okay for managers, not technicians. It's typical for the global management and executive workforce. Second, the awareness building assignment strategy. So you use cultural training exercises, usually for short term. The family is not going to relocate. It's used to train them for future assignments. And you use this to bring people back and forth from the headquarters and bring some fresh knowledge locally. This is a completely different strategy. It's more flexible and adaptable to the needs. Then there's the SWAT team strategy, which means you have some mobile teams which are highly mobile and you can deploy them for short-term assignments. It's a group of managers. They go to different parts of the world. It's just troubleshooting. They don't have development agenda. They just go there, fix things, and they come back. And they can transfer technical knowledge. It's typical for technical troubleshooters, for instance, where you're running a high-tech company, like, an oil and gas company or stuff like that. And finally, it's increasingly important to reduce overall costs. So there's this virtual solution strategy, which means you have practices that use electronic communications. So people are working globally, but from a specific place. So this is very low cost and very fast, and you get people to work together even though they are in completely different places. And that's an interesting new avenue of development for international human resources management, which requires, though, a company where technology is used very currently and very easily. And, with this final part, I have concluded my class for today. As I told you, I miss you all. I hope we can find ways of interacting. Maybe we are going to set up a Teams group. I've seen that some of you have already enrolled. Please keep doing so. And we'll use that as a basis for working together. You have a great day, and I wish you well. I hope you are all safe and sound. Bye.